ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the one, the only, the CNA recipe. And now your host, all the way from the big Midwest, Mid-South, Mid-East, all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ro Robinson, alongside with the big red machine, Brian Jones, and good old Brandon Dooling.
What up, y'all? We back with another edition of the recipe, where we're going to talk about what was cooking on tonight's TNA, and we're going to get into a little, probably, discussion battle. I won't say a debate, but a little discussion about a couple of characters from the E and TNA, what they should do if they ever cross paths. But tonight we're going to kick it fresh. We're going to kick it with the opener. Anybody want to, start the show off?
For starters, the start of TNA's show, I never saw anybody get kicked like Van Dam did with the carbon footprint. I'm going to start with that.
Yeah, okay. And I'm going to start with the opening segment with Jeff Hardy, with Hulk Hogan talking to Jeff Hardy. I thought it was a little cheesy at first, but you got to remember he's the TNA champion, and he going to have his... I like how they had like the whole little voice-over thing, when he walked by each person, and he says... And he started with Kurt Angle. He said he's a machine. Then he went to like Anderson. He said he's an asshole. Then he says then he went to James Storm and said he drinks too much. Then he said Bully Ray has his hands full with something else. I thought that was just funny in a way.
That was a very nice voiceover, I'll say. Each one of them. I wouldn't consider Storm's drinking a real problem, if anything.
I mean, but do we really know what James Storm is really drinking and when he have that? I mean, is it really like? Can you say it's like what Austin was drinking, like that non-alcoholic beer? Not
maybe because with all the like you remember during the days of Beer Money when like he'd have the Boozer Cruiser and crap like that. It's like at first you're thinking, man, this dude really loves to drink, but now that I think about it, it's like there's no way that all those bottles that he had in the Boozer Cruiser could possibly be alcoholic.
Right, because I mean, and plus, like he drinks before he comes to the match and after the match. So you would think, okay, after, especially like during a little bit like before and like after. This guy, and after probably like getting the shit beat out of him and he won or something, this guy will be pretty fucked up.
Indeed so.
I mean, come on now. He's drinking booze before the match. Who really actually does that? I don't think Austin actually did that before.
Although the thing about Storm is, though, I mean, when you have a guy like Storm, though, I mean, I figure like knowing, or maybe not knowing, but kind of thinking about the fact that he's always got the beer and stuff like that. I guess he can just hold his liquor very well, and he can take a lot if he needs to. It's not like he's like pouring out a friggin' 12-pack in the middle of the ring at the same time. It's like that beer bottle's, that's his signature weapon, things like that. So I mean that's how synonymous he is with it.
I guess you could say the same thing for Christopher Daniels drinking no damn apple teas before his match.
Oh, yeah, I got to say something about Christopher Daniels. What the fuck is with this guy and wearing the same damn shirt and the same damn sweater vest night in and night out? Every time you see this guy, he got the same purple shirt and the same purple vest and an apple teeny.
And then the fact that him and Kazarian both look like extras for Mr. Clean in that ring.
Well, especially Daniels.
And then of course the fact that they stole Taz. Well, I wouldn't really say stole, but they were wearing the orange and black at Bound for Glory, which I thought kind of cost them in a way. That was some bad karma right there, and Taz was happy that they lost.
Yeah, how you gonna steal Taz's colors?
That was probably a Halloween thing. This is the month of Halloween, orange and black.
True.
Okay.
It's just at first glance, it's like, did this bitch just steal my colors, mother? If I wasn't injured, I'd be choking your out.
All right, I got something to say about this. What did y'all think? Before we get into the first match, what did y'all guys think about the new, like the 1 hour commentaries between JD and I think his name is Todd or something?
I think his first name might have been Todd. I didn't think of his last name.
Honestly, I wouldn't pay no attention to them.
It wasn't bad. I'm not gonna.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's like, okay, if they're gonna do something like that, they should have it. I wouldn't even. They probably shouldn't do something like that. I mean, because it's like, okay. Well, I would see why, because you want to say Taz and Mike Tenay for like towards like main event, the 1 hour main event, but kind of like tell us in the beginning of the show instead of you interrupting a champion's intro music to explain why Taz and Mike Tenay is not going to be on commentary for an hour. So, I mean, that takes away like RVD is not important. He so happened to be our X Division champion. So I would have preferred you to do that during Zima Ion entrance if you would have did that. If you would have want to go that route.
Yeah, indeed.
Because I mean, you never interrupt a champion's entrance. Never. You never like.
No, I'm. Like personally, in my
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
In TNA, this is not like WWE where you see plenty of guys who are nowhere, who are floundering in the lower mid card, come out with their entrance already playing. I mean, to me, TNA is not like that. Even Gunner and Kid Cash do not get their entrances interrupted like that, and they've been nowhere for the last couple months. You don't even get that with. Even if some of the X Division stars the team Ion took out, like even they wouldn't get that, let alone Van Dam.
So you give a guy that's been wrestling for over 20-something years, I mean, you interrupt his entrance to explain why they're not on commentary. To me, personally, I thought that was totally like kind of disrespectful in a way.
Bush League.
You never interrupt a champion's entrance. Never. I don't care how over he is, because the thing about a championship belt, he's that guy for that top spot. He's meant to be seen.
If he's not meant to be seen, then why'd you put the belt on him? And what does that say for the belt? Really, to me, here's another problem. I think part of it to me is the fact that he's holding that X Division belt. Because I guarantee you, if he's holding even if he's holding the television title, like how Samoa Joe, everyone saw him and he commanded. Just from walking, he commanded that spotlight when he came out. Van Dam, to me, I don't even really think it's him or even the X Division title as much as it is just what's happened to the X Division. No offense to Zima Ion, but just the fact that right now, to me, there is no X Division. So I'm not entirely surprised that they interrupted the X Division champion's entrance, even though the title does not make the man makes the title.
Right. To me, I think it won't be an X Division until you get Kenny. What is that? Kenny King, Kenny K. Kenny King. Kenny King versus like Jesse Sorensen for the X Division title. Then your X Division will be put back on top. I'm not trying to discredit RVD because this is only his first week as X Division champion. Well, 2 weeks, but his first week defending. So I really can't I'm not going to try to shit on his title reign, but to me, the X Division title for your lower mid carders that needs that step to get up, to get that push up to to go higher, and to me, like, RVD is so put over that he don't really need the X Division title, so it's really much to him. It's like I don't want to say a joke because I don't know his thought process, but for me as a fan, this is like it's just a joke.
And another thing about the X Division title, and I'll try not to be too elaborate on this, we talk about the fact that the X Division title needs to be something that really steps up, steps you up to the higher level. And think about this: the fact that at Unbreakable 2005, the X Division title match was the main event match of the night. We talk about the fact that the X Division title was so worth it. AJ Styles still wrestled in the X Division even after he won his world titles. I mean, the X Division back in the day, that X Division, to me, that was even to me, those were the best matches of the night. And to me, I would have rather been X Division champion back then than even the World Heavyweight champion because of how fresh the X Division was, how prestigious that belt was, and all the great talent that you had, whether it was AJ Styles, Petey Williams, Jay Lethal. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Kazarian, Matt Bentley, Johnny Devine. You could go on and on and on and on.
And you know what it is, though? Really? It's TNA being such dumb asses, getting rid of the Petey Williams, the Jay Lethal, guys like that, guys that defined the X Division, that made the X Division be the show stealer, to where they had to make a pay-per-view after a belt, and to where hell, it even you even have a couple of matches out of it. The Ultimate X, the
Elevation X, Steel Asylum. You could go on and on and on. Escape match. You had so many match types for the X Division. Now it's I don't know anymore. I love it. That was my favorite thing about TNA was the X Division, and it's still, to some degree, it still is. But it's just that we can't see it as much anymore. The fact that not just Jay Lethal, the fact that Jay Lethal, Brian Kendrick, Amazing Red, we still have plenty of guys. Plus, I never liked the fact that Robbie E was not television champion, X Division champion, but that's just me. But that's
he was a television champion.
No, I mean he was, but I was talking about the fact that before that he was X Division champion. I was pissed that they made Lethal lose the belt to him. I'm like, really? You have him beat Doug Williams, but he loses to this guy? Really?
And another thing, okay, and you just brought up another one. Doug Williams is another one. Kaz.
Right.
Christopher Daniels.
But you know what?
Kazarian and Daniels, that's not their fault because they're busy being part of the tag title scenes. So I'm not going to get on that for it.
Right.
So they're kind of busy with other stuff right now. So that's not. But it's just the fact that Williams and everybody else in the X Division got taken out by Ion, and Ion doing that reverse cross arm breaker, it's pretty much to him what the Kimura is to Brock Lesnar, breaking people's arms.
But, oh my God. All right, Brian, you got something to say?
I was going to say, with the whole thing with the X Division about RVD being the champion of it, is not to get him over, because we all know he's over.
Very.
The thing is, they trying to put the X Division back on the map since it has faded to the background so much.
But you think they could do that where RVD could pretty much take out the whole, all right, I'm going to put it in Dragon Ball Z terms. You know when Goku fought, Yamaha, that one creature that sucks up the light.
Yakon? One of Babadi's monsters?
Yes. Okay, remember when he said, he had 800 kilos. He could wipe out a whole planet with a swoop, with a finger. Bam, and Goku can. That's pretty much like RVD holding the X Division title. He could swipe out the whole X Division with one kick.
Basically so. He wouldn't even have to do the Van Damme anger. He could just be yeah, I'm the next X Division guy. Boom, stay down. And now he calls himself Mr. X Division.
Right. So that's pretty much like saying, okay, Goku, I don't like that planet over there. I don't like that planet over there. I don't like that planet over there. I don't like that planet. I don't like that planet. Take them all out with one finger. Okay.
Or better yet, just be say Raditz comes back, right? Say Raditz comes back. It's like, Kakarot, I'm going to destroy you. Nah, nah, nah. Goku now would have been like, bitch, please. Boom, one punch. He would have did to him what Frieza did to Vegeta's father. One punch, boom, dead.
Not even that. Like you know how Mecha Frieza destroyed
Trunks, or like how Trunks killed him and his father just like that, just like basically his version of a pimp slap to him.
Yeah, one
like how they were nothing.
Right.
One swipe, boom, cuts in half.
I'm sorry, TNA fans. We rambled on about the exhibition, but that's just our thoughts. That's how the recipe is. We cook up. We say shit how we feel. I'm sorry about rambling on about we got into Dragon Ball Z and exhibition.
We're sorry that we had to Dragon Ball Z references, but we were trying to make a point. So we're sorry if we sounded too nerdish.
Right. Okay, but get on to the first match. Zima, speaking of the guy, the exhibition, today was championship fight night. Well, not open fight night, but
championship Thursday.
Yeah, championship Thursday. How am I the host of the recipe and I can't get that damn shit right? I don't know. I'm kind of like the Chris of the Obsession show. I can't get my shit right.
No, it's fine.
Because he can't pronounce Antonio Cesaro right. He pronounces Antonio Jesus Salad or, whatever. Okay, I digress. Okay. But, today was Championship Thursday. First championship match, Zima Ion versus Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam! The whole effing show!
And Rob Van Dam won this match.
He won it. Yep. It was a pretty solid match. It to me it was better than the exhibition match that they had at Genesis.
Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory. Well, I was about to say Genesis. Yeah.
Although one thing I was impressed about though was the fact that like how they'll sometimes do a springboard tornado DDT like Team Ion does. From the looks of it, he didn't even springboard. He just straight jumped and did it. That was pretty cool. Pretty good work by him and RVD on that spot.
And you know what? And I would actually I like Zima Ion. Don't get me wrong. I like Zima Ion. But, in Bound for Glory, it didn't seem like he had much offense in that match. But in this match, it seemed like they gave him a lot more offense, to kind of, and honestly, I almost thought he was going to win it.
Certainly.
Because that DDT was fucking sick. And you know what? And to this very day, I still don't get that damn DDT because it looks like it's a spear, but the guy is going up that's performing the DDT is coming down. That is a sick-ass move.
Another thing I'll say about Zima Ion, I do like one of his finishers that he has, that back suplex into a knee drop on the face or whatever, the hostile makeover that he calls it. I miss seeing that move. That move is pretty cool.
That is a pretty good match.
Good match, though. I agree.
All right. Now let's talk about after the match was over.
Yeah,
RVD received a big carbon footprint from Matt Morgan, who came out there and stated that basically he's going to do what he wants.
And you know what? And this goes back to what I said last week on the recipe. It's pretty much like Matt Morgan is being the bodyguard to Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan. He's pretty much to Joey Ryan what Robbie T is to Robbie T.
No, don't.
Except Joey Ryan can wrestle.
Don't compare it. That dude, them two dudes are just really irrelevant right now. They just
especially after what happened to them last week. Samoa Joe choked both directors out like it was nothing. None of them had anything on him. That kills their any momentum they could have had at all was killed. You cannot. I don't think you could do anything with them after what happened last week.
You really can't bounce back. I don't even think you can go up from that because you got one guy that could pretty much take out a whole fraction.
And one of them who is a former global champion. It's like, really? You left the British... One thing I got to say to Robbie T, you left the British invasion for this? Dude, total downgrade. So I still can't believe he left the British invasion for this crap. Like, that's...
I can't believe I still can't believe that he was part of the British invasion after this. Because the Robbie T I know wouldn't have took this shit.
he would have sat there and been whooping, you know, like what he did to Beer Money at Bound for Glory 2009 to make an example, or all those months that he was the global champion. But this,
and then on top of that,
how the supposedly mighty have fallen.
And to add insult to injury with that kick, Joey Ryan grabs the mic and talks shit to RVD and tells him basically he's coming for his X Division title.
So basically it's from one pretty boy to another. So basically just different variations.
Right. Even though Joey Ryan, and he has a porn stash. I would like to point out. He has a very nice porn stash.
He does. I've always thought that he looks like a combination of White Goodman from Dodgeball and Ron Burgundy. I've always thought he was a combination of those two. He looks like their love child.
You know what? I'm going to use the Raj Denman from the Dodgeball. I'll use that reference, but I will go with Will Ferrell from, like, what is that, the Anchorman?
Yeah.
When he had like that. Oh, wow.
Also, I'm gonna use a porn reference, a younger version of Ron Jeremy.
Ew!
Oh no! Please don't start, because now it reminds me of all the porn names people came up with for WWE superstars on Twitter. Okay, you know what? Forget what I just said. But anyway.
No, that's pretty good. All right, next match. All right, moving on.
We see a promo from the Aces and Eights.
Yeah, hold on. I think so. I think we did. Blah, blah, blah.
And then they throw like a thing at the board, and apparently it didn't show who it landed on, but it ended up.
No. Actually, we got the backstage promo with
Aces
with Austin Aries.
Oh, yes,
right.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, his hilarious promos.
And he's talking about, I like how he had the little sunglasses on. He's talking about, well, I'm going to get these. Well, I'm going to be one by one and get these guys' opinions. But I got something to say about that. Didn't he only really get one guy opinion?
Yeah, and that one dude knocked him out with a freaking poster board, just like, you want to call me an asshole? Bam!
Basically, they got into a fight over who's the bigger asshole.
or you know what Austin Aries could have called himself? I'm the greatest asshole that ever lived.
Yeah, true.
Ever lived.
Lived.
Just like Anderson did. He could have really stolen Anderson's catchphrases right there. Perfect opportunity.
Yeah, let's get the promo between Kazarian and blah blah blah. Christopher Daniels hated it, whatever. That shit was pretty damn boring. That promo didn't really make no sense.
With the deportation illegal stuff.
Wait,
Kazarian, I'm sorry, but Kazarian isn't Kazarian. If I'm not mistaken, Kazarian is Armoranian or whatever. It's like, dude, you got no room to talk. How do we know you ain't got your papers from wherever you were originally from? Okay, Mr. Bald Cut.
I said it before. I said it again. That is one ugly ass haircut he has.
He really should have just kept his long hair. Like, I'm not trying to sound like Cut Dust, but he should have kept his long hair. That's one guy. That guy in the Undertaker should have kept that long hair. I'm sorry. I mean, Undertaker just like.
At least the Undertaker has a mohawk, though. So to me, I say give him a little bit of a slide. Kazarian, Debo from Friday thinks you got a bad haircut.
But Undertaker kind of like a gay biker dude that wears mascara.
With his
he looked like
Warlock.
Yeah, he looked. Yeah. Okay. We got a little bit off subject. Okay, next we got Bully Ray get eliminated.
Although Bully Ray, from the looks of it, didn't care for the world title right now. He wanted to get his hands on Devon.
Right.
You clearly see it.
And that goes to show that I was right. TNA has turned Bully Ray face. I was right.
Do you think it could work, especially with the fact that he has Bully in his name?
He could be like the I don't know, because I don't like it.
Bully, the fact that he has Bully in his name, to me, symbolifies heel. Now, the credit, I will say this. I don't really know if it was him or as much as I can't really say it's him as much as it was Sting. That huge reaction that they got on the Impact before Bound for Glory when they were teaming up. But maybe it could work, maybe not. I mean, it's certainly not the first time Bully would be face. Like when him and Devon were on different brands in 2002 when he was on Raw and Devon was on SmackDown, and then all the times that Team 30 had been face. So, but it's just the fact that I don't know this particular version. I might agree with you. I don't know about the fact that
that was in the E, Dorling. That was in the E. We're not in the E.
No, I was talking about all the times in TNA that Team 30 as a team were face. I was talking about that too.
Maybe if he's one of those Taz type of faces, because Taz was a face, but he was a face that didn't take shit. He kicked ass.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason he was called the human suplex machine, the one-man crime spree, man. Even as a face, you know.
Yeah, but I think it's just because I like his heel persona, Bully Ray heel persona has just grown on me that much. And literally it has. It grew on me. Like I liked him before he became a mega heel, but when he broke out with the Calfzilla gimmick and, you know, talking about my calves.
Look at my calves.
Look at my calves. Yeah, that shit was impressive.
Yeah, it was.
And when he used to be like, people used to call him Blubber Ray, like Aries talked about. But now, yeah, the dude's got guns. The dude has to get in shape. Credit to him.
All right, anybody want to talk about the next segment?
What was that?
Yes.
Next segment was... You guys go ahead. Oh, because the next segment was pretty much when Austin Aries, when he attacked, whatchamacallit? When Austin Aries and Anderson got into it. That was pretty much like it wasn't the match.
I basically see what I had to say about that. The two was just basically fighting over who was the bigger asshole, him or Anderson.
Right. But then then you got another backstage segment. All right, one thing. Do you guys really want to go through all the backstage segments, or you just want to talk about the matches? Because the next backstage segment is the Ace and is an Ace on segment.
Yeah, I did want to talk about that one because, you know, they show them talking, and I mean, and this is why I want to talk about it. They say that, you know, he talked to the president, and for everybody to keep their mask on, nobody don't want to know who they are. So I'm like, okay, how long are they going to drag this out about who's behind these damn masks?
Like, wait a minute, isn't it obvious not to make sure nobody takes off your masks? Is that not why they brought the masks in the first place? Go ahead, though. Sorry for interrupting.
Brian, this is your segment. You wanted to talk about this.
Oh, and then, you know, then they get to choose. Then he tells them the president wants them to choose their victim for the night. So you see one of the big guys go up to the board, throw a dart at one of the pitchers, but they didn't show who it was, so we didn't find out who it was later, which it turned out to be Kurt Angle.
Mm-hmm.
You should have said that for last. You know his name. But yeah, okay. We get into our next match. We get into pretty much a squash match between Samoa Joe and Rob BT. Squash match. We all know who's gonna win. We all know who's gonna win. And to me, I don't think Joe is dropping that title anytime soon. Like literally,
no.
He'll have.
All right.
Hell no, he finally got gold back around his waist. He ain't giving it up no time soon.
I mean,
Joe,
who the hell
like
is he
I
going to
said,
lose it to?
like I said last week, Joe looked good with gold. Joe with gold is like, I don't know. It's like that new car that you get that you just in a parking lot. You're just like, this is the one I gotta have, and I'm never gonna, I'm gonna do everything just to keep it happy, keep it nice. That's like some more Joe. Joe with gold is just like fucking awesome.
Right.
He could.
Seeing Samoa Joe with
That's a
that
dude
gold.
that, to me, there should be, to me, few times that he shouldn't hold gold. I mean, the dude is so talented. His MMA-esque offense, with all of his striking, with all of his technical ability, with the fact that he is athletic for a 280-pounder, who wouldn't want him to be champion? And let's also not forget this. He was the. How many other men can say that? And I know this is back in TNA's early days, but how many other men can say that they walked into the King of the Mountain match at Slammiversary and walked out with the gold? No other time had that ever happened. So Joe must have been doing something right all these years, right? This is also the same man that made Kurt Angle tap out for the first time in TNA. A Kurt Angle that it had been a while since he had officially tapped out in any match.
Right.
At least officially. But you get my point. I mean, this dude has been there. He's done that in TNA. What better way to reward him than making him the third ever Grand Slam champion? Awful.
But to me, it was funny, though, when they did that whole Joe got kidnapped by ninjas. That shit was funny. I ain't gonna lie.
The only thing I didn't like about that was they never went anywhere else from that except Joe returning very dominant fashion, by the way, like when it was a rematch between Team Hogan and Team Flair, and he pretty much took out all Team Flair single-handedly. Other than that, though, they never had an ending. It didn't. Like, we don't know who was the kidnapping. We don't know why.
But that was just made it so much funny because, like, Joe was like, before Joe's like, yeah, softy, not really softy, wishy-washy Joe, but he comes back and, like, he has a new fucking persona. Like, what the fuck? Like, is this really even him?
But I will say this, as far as his persona went, he got a badass rap theme out of it, which he still uses.
I know, right?
Possibly, they should never change his theme. They never should. To me, it's like Kane when he had a Slow Chemical by Finger 11. When he had that song, they should never change it. I don't think they should ever change Samoa Joe's theme. Keep that as his theme for the rest of his TNA career. I don't know how you can move up from that.
I don't know either.
The only way Samoa Joe can have a better theme song is if Jim Johnson writes it.
That's true.
Jim Johnson.
Creative answer there.
But
Jim Johnson does so much cocaine before he does these theme songs. It's
Does
impossible.
anybody else think? Go ahead.
Yes, if you were going to say, does anybody else think Jim Johnson does cocaine? I agree. He
does. I didn't say that. I mean, Coke Johnston. I never thought of that name, but I was going to say, anybody else think he needs to be put in the Hall of Fame eventually? Anybody?
Who, Jim Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that he, you know what, his credentials say he should be Hall of Fame, but they're going to put him in there based on the fact that they're eventually going to run out of people to put in the Hall of Fame.
So basically he's just a last-minute addition, basically.
Right, like he's going to go, like he should have been in the Hall of Fame. But, like, they're going to, I believe Sting will eventually be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He's never wrestled in the company a day in his life.
It's just the fact that, to me, it's like you put Drew Carey and you put Vince McMahon's limo driver in, but you can't put in your longtime musical composer who's been a hell of a job over the years.
Who is Vince McMahon's limo driver?
Oh, no, remember James Dudley is limo driver or some shit like that? It's like how he's in the Hall of Fame. Like, you put those two in, but you can't put in your longtime musical composer who has been making bad themes for you over the years. I know it's kind of behind the scenes, but come on.
I personally would like to see Jim Johnson get his just due and put him in the Hall of Fame. Why not? I think that would be great. And it would be unexpected because a lot of people don't even know, like a lot of people who who watch wrestling in the era now don't even know Jim Johnson is behind all of this shit.
And he was behind many of the great themes that we've heard, many of the awesome and very fitting themes that we've heard over the years.
And he's still behind most of them. He helped the Rock and Rollers put it together.
Exactly. And it's like, it's something that I think wrestling fans who do not know, or I'm not going to say that about him, but it's like people watching Raw now that may not know about him, they need to learn about him. I really think they do. Because a lot of the things they hear, like we said, they need to give their credit to him for that.
Right. Jim Johnson puts together a lot of awesome-ass theme songs. But I know I'm kind of late. Like, what was the topic of conversation before y'all were talking about theme song?
We were talking about Samoa Joe and his theme and how, like, and then you said, like, the only way Samoa Joe can get a better theme is if Jim Johnson composes it. So that's what we were talking about. But we were talking about Samoa Joe's match with Robbie T, which wasn't really a match. It was pretty much like last week, except Robbie E continued to interfere. Joe, and how many times do you see Samoa Joe go for and not that he ever isn't aggressive anyway, but how many times do you see Samoa Joe go for his clutch 4 consecutive times? The dude was like, I mean, he was like, I don't care how big you are. It's tapping out in the middle of the ring. I don't care how many times I got to do it. Joe was like, motherfucker, get over here. I'm choking you out. Like, I don't care how much your Zack Ryder look-like boyfriend tries to interfere. You're tapping out.
I think TNA needs to find a purpose for whatever the fuck their purpose is and find it fast.
Okay.
All right.
No, I can't get into TNA. Like, I don't know, maybe because it's not new no more. I can't get. Maybe it's the storyline. It's definitely the storyline. Like, I can't get into it. Like, so 1 week, AJ's in a paternity suit, and the next week he's teaming with Kurt Angle. Now he's back in the world title picture. Jeff Hardy went from being a junkie to a champion. Austin Aries was like the first match on the card. Now he's the biggest heel in the company.
He was only faced for 4 months, basically.
Bobby Roode cut his hair off, and then James Storm quit in the middle of the ring. Bubba Ray is now a face. Devon is behind Aces in the Age. Like, what does this shit mean anymore? Like, am I the only one confused? Then you got Matt Morgan. He's got a full-grown beard. He's got 6 more tattoos, and he still doesn't mean anything to the company.
I'm a TNA fan as much as the next guy, but I got to sit there and agree with you on some of this stuff. I got to agree with you.
But you can say the same thing about WWE, though.
Indeed so. To me, WWE is a bit more guilty of it to me than TNA is, although TNA does have their screw-ups. But WWE is more blatant and obvious to me.
Right. See, I don't get on WWE's case anymore because we've grown to know that WWE is going to fuck up. Like, this Sunday will be the biggest fuck-up in a long time of fuck-ups because, now, we've all been watching WWE for the past year. Right back, he came back in what, was it May? He debuted on SmackDown.
Sometime around May.
Right, sometime after WrestleMania or after Extreme Rules. Well, no, when did he at Extreme Rules? Didn't he have a squash match?
Actually, he did. Actually, yeah, so he came right before Extreme Rules. Like, actually, if I'm not mistaken, his match went after Punk's match that night. Well, I don't know if it was that night, but it's just like.
Right. So anyway, you come back after WrestleMania, so he's pretty much been on TV for about 6 to 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Ryback has not been tested. He has not had a physical challenge. Like, dude has been running through people.
Mostly jobbers.
Mostly jobbers. Then you stick him in there with The Miz. The Miz is The Miz, but he runs through The Miz.
And then with Dolph Ziggler, he did the same thing to him yesterday.
Is the main event. Now, I'm not knocking this. The only thing is, like, how do you logically say CM? Like, how do you logically sit down at a table and write out CM Punk is going to win this match with a guy who's never wrestled, who hasn't wrestled a match more than 5 minutes. No one has shown that they can hurt him. Like, Ryback never gets pinned. Dude back ain't never been on the mat.
Well, technically against Jinder Mahal, but that was one time. And even then, Jinder didn't really look like he had anything in the match. Here's another problem. How, if you have Ryback lose, how do you have him lose without losing momentum? Because of the fact that you've had him dominate Punk, putting him in the shell shock, and then almost doing it the very next week. And you can't do it by DQ because it's inside Hell in a Cell. People have said Lesnar should come in and do it, but then again, Lesnar already has a limited number of dates, and doing it unannounced wouldn't really help. And then, to me, you can't have Punk lose because of the match with him and The Rock at the Royal Rumble, and you can't have The Rock face Ryback. From what I've heard, The Rock does not want to wrestle. I'm just explaining.
I know.
Okay.
The only logical way that this works, like in my opinion, there's only 2 ways that this works. Either CM Punk, like either the whole match CM Punk mounts small bits of offense, but the entire match he's trying to escape. And when I say escape, CM Punk has to run. And I mean, he ran so far that that's how they're going to end the pay-per-view. Ryback is chasing him down the hallway. CM Punk hops in the car with Paul Heyman, takes his belt and run. That way, you have no winner. Ryback never lost. CM Punk still champion because he just hauled ass. You figured he couldn't win. You might as well run.
Or, here's another option that I don't know who it was on Facebook that posted this. What if you have a situation where someone tries taking him out?
Brock Lesnar has to come back. And at this point in time, it fits Brock to come back because he is supposed to be on TV because he's supposed to be at the Survivor Series. So, and the Survivor Series is only 3 weeks out after the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So, I say you can waste 2 to 3 appearances.
Yeah. And then there was another. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. There was another option that somebody talked about on Facebook. I can't remember who it was. But they were talking about how, like a Mondo Goldberg situation where someone tries taking out Ryback before the match even starts backstage. Or I don't really know who you have that could do that to Ryback though, unless you somehow make it Big Show do it for the simple fact that there's spoilers, supposedly maybe, for Survivor Series where Ryback and Big Show are team captains for their teams or something like that. But I know I'm sounding a bit too explanatory, but that's the only other way I could see that happening. And I don't know who would really do it because it shows too busy with Sheamus.
Well, I don't know. It depends on how they set the night up. Like if
Exactly.
Because they're saying I'm supposed to cash in. The sales. Then I heard Big Show and Sheamus is not even inside of sales. So
yeah, so just they really painted themselves into a corner, and it's not entirely their fault. Casino wasn't medically cleared all that much yet, but it's just at the time. But at the same time, it's like for whatever reason they're in a corner here.
And I mean, the only reason they're in a corner is because they put themselves there. Because I mean, Cena not being able to go now is cool because if you're going to do him and Punk, as good as the matches they've been having, why not put that on a big stage like the Survivor Series if you're going to give them another one-on-one title match? Or
especially when you have it in a place like Indianapolis and things like that, that could really help bring a lot of the buzz.
Right.
I mean, Indianapolis, it's not New York or anything, but at the same time, you know, it's not exactly all that small town either.
Right. I mean, over here, like I heard that CM Punk and Cena are supposed to actually captain teams this year, so it probably won't even be a title match.
All right. We need to get back to the
show. You carried on. All right, let's just skip right into the main event. Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle.
Did you really do a show about TNA?
Yes.
Why?
This is my show.
Did you not watch the product that's on Thursday nights? Like, this shit is horrible, fam. Like,
I know, but that goes to show, like, I fall asleep every Monday. I can sit and watch TNA every single Thursday.
Ow, it's not good.
WWE is not good.
I'm sorry, but as far as Monday nights go lately, I mean, could you even stay up even if you drank seven cups of coffee? Could you even stay awake still?
Look, Tom, look. This is 2 hours. WWE is 3 hours.
I mean, and the only good part about Raw is Kane and Daniel Bryan, but hell, that's more entertaining than Jesse from Big Brother. Jeez.
Now that I'll agree with. It's like, and like I said,
that,
a dude that makes Snooki is A-list compared to this guy, and I'm supposed to care about Tara slobbering all over him playing damn tonsil hockey in the middle of the ring, like a damn horny schoolgirl. Are you kidding me?
We got different strokes for different folks.
Right.
I'm just saying, it's like, that's fine. But
okay,
like, you're gonna go Hollywood boyfriend. You do it from. It's like you get somebody who nobody really knows and nobody really cares about. Like I thought you were actually getting someone Hollywood-like. That's the best you can come. You know what? Forget it.
Well, anyway,
I'm gonna get on a rant about that later. But anyway,
who's in the main event and what happened? Jeff Hardy came out painting his eyes again and shit. Fucking dopehead.
No, actually, he did not come out looking like a dopehead.
Gee, he paints eyes on his eyes. What the fuck is that about?
That's a unique gimmick. I mean, nobody has really done that before.
That's his unique artistic style, you know? Jeff Hardy really has an artistic mind.
He looks like a retarded Ultimate Warrior.
All right, and CM Punk don't look retarded wearing a bright-ass yellow-ass shirt.
Looking like a damn mustard bottle. Looking like Matt Hardy pissed him off on Twitter.
And John
Hell, Chris called him Big Bird.
And John Cena look like a gay-ass Ken doll.
I mean, John Cena looking like the Skittles man. He's wearing a Skittles suit. He keeps changing colors, the rainbow.
Anyway,
we got Jeff Hardy against the wrestling machine, Kurt Angle. I'm gonna have to say that was a damn good match.
It was.
Right.
I liked it.
Of course, when Kurt Angle get in the ring, you're gonna have to work anyways with Kurt Angle.
I mean, when you go ahead. You got some.
Speaking of Kurt Angle, I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter, but Kurt Angle did post that he would like to retire in a WWE ring, so be looking for Kurt Angle to make that jump once again.
Once his contract expires.
Yeah, Kurt said he wants to retire as WWE superstar, so I say give it maybe a year or two, but Kurt will make one more solid, maybe 2 years, and run through the WWE again, but he wants to retire in the WWE.
I mean, to me though,
nothing wrong with that.
To me, that's pretty much anybody that's been in WWE that's pretty much started off in WWE, you know, and they go to TNA. That's where you want to end back to end of retirement. And the Mecca, the Mecca, pretty much.
I mean, if Christian can do it the way he was treated before he left for TNA, if Christian can do it, Kurt certainly can. I mean, the sky's the limit for him.
I mean, but Kurt is a whole different caliber superstar than.
Exactly, that's my point.
But Kurt can't do what he do in TNA. He can't wrestle hurt. Because, that's the thing that got Kurt fired. He wanted to still wrestle, and he was injured. And he wasn't medically cleared to injury.
Fact that he, like the whole painkillers thing, and he wanted to rehab on the road, and they didn't want him to do that, so he left.
Something like that. But he was wrestling hurt, really. Vince was mad because he was wrestling hurt and putting him and other superstars in danger. That's the reason why he got fired.
Right.
Well, shit. His franchise player wrestle hurt all the time. What the hell, John Cena?
True. With all the injuries John Cena has, and
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever relationship John Cena and Vince got going on, that's totally
him. Think about it, bro. He was. his elbow and arm been funny since Brock whooped his ass at Extreme Rules, and you just now having surgery in September?
Thank you. I know. I find that completely stupid. Like, okay, you're gonna have your golden boy wrestle damn near 6 months? You're gonna have him go 6 months straight. Huh?
No surgery.
Yeah, 6 months straight, no surgery. But he's wrestling every Monday, every Monday, headlining every pay-per-view in like some type of specialty match, whether it's a steel cage match, no disqualification match, triple threat, going to get CM Punk in the Anaconda Vice, Money in the Bank, anything I'm missing?
Like, this is the first time that Cena has really not wrestled for, 2 to 3 weeks at a time. Like, this is the first time dude has had a month off. Like,
right.
He's been on TV, but he ain't wrestled.
I just find it hilarious anyway.
And but I think it was good. Like, I think we all as fans needed something new in the main event. And whether we wanted Ryback or we think it's a bad decision, it's something new and it gets people excited. Like, most people be like, oh man, he's gonna be seeing that CM Punk again, and then when it was like it was gonna be Ryback, niggas was like, oh shit, it's Ryback.
But you know what though? I forgot who said this. I think Cena said this, or I don't know, I forgot. It's like, and it's kind of true. Like, wrestling fans are truly never happy. Because you always going to find that, or Fresh, I think you might have said this. I don't know. Somebody said this. You always going to find that niche in something that you're going to bitch about. Like, oh, right back in the championship. It's too soon. CM Punk had the WWE title for CM Punk had the WWE title for too long. You want to change. You get it, you don't like it. Then you want to go back to the old stuff, but then you bitch about the old stuff, but then we get the new stuff, you bitch about that. So what's really going on?
Finally, somebody else in this group agrees, like, y'all all pray for change, and we don't want to see. Like, Cena ain't been WWE champion in damn near a year, but that's not good enough for y'all. Y'all don't want the man on TV. Now he's not in the main event. Now he's not in the main event, but all of a sudden now Ryback's a bad choice, and they don't need to be Ryback. It's too soon. Like,
right?
No matter.
Oh, go ahead.
And it's like no matter what you see on TV, it never makes y'all happy.
Right? Because everybody was bitching about how many times has Cena and Punk will go at it, but then when we get Ryback, everybody like you said, oh, it's too soon. He's not ready. He's blah blah this, blah blah that. Like.
But now that you think about it, though, who else could you have in that short amount of time, within a month? I know Ryback haven't beat nobody, but who else could you have used besides Alberto Del Rio and Randy Orton?
And hell, both of them are feuding right now on each other. So
right, that's what I said. Besides, so who could you have used?
There's nobody else to use.
At this point in time, you can't use anybody unless you go get somebody. Now, if they wasn't going to use Ryback and they was actually going to bring Matt Morgan in, that probably would have been Matt Morgan's spot.
Right.
And it still would have been the same. And it still would have been the same build-up because Matt Morgan's bigger than CM Punk. So it's that intimidating force, and CM Punk feel like I can't do it. Because I think CM Punk feel like the look on his face tells a story like, I don't think I can beat Ryback. Like, he may not say it in the promo, but the faces he make when Ryback grabs him, like, I can't fuck with this guy. He's too big.
I mean, you know what? Even though CM Punk is the champion, he has to make it look like the Ryback is the bigger guy. He got to make it look like, I can't fuck with this guy. I shouldn't even be in the ring with this guy because this guy's so huge. And look at me, I'm like, what, 235, 225? This guy like 292 pounds. I'm a pushover.
Who won this Jeff Hardy match?
Kurt Angle. Jeff Hardy.
It was for the belt.
So Jeff Hardy's still champion?
Yep.
And
dude, he's not going to drop that belt no time soon because his contract will be up in a few months, and they're trying to keep him there.
was a pretty solid match though. What you expect from when Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy go to wrestle each other? They've been doing this.
I mean, but the match was so good. I mean, it's like Kurt Angle was relentless. He would not stay down for the three count. I mean, he hit him twice. He hit him twice with the twist of fate and the swanton bomb, and still Kurt Angle kicks out.
Are you gonna say Fresh?
Now, if I want to see anybody go back to WWE, it's Jeff Hardy.
I'd like to see that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Eventually, I think eventually he will. He'll probably be like the rest that want to retire in the WWE.
I mean, I don't. Is it possible you could be in a TNA Hall of Fame and a WWE Hall of Fame?
Well, shit, we'll find out when they put Sting in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Right?
I'm just saying, man. You know what? I know Sting don't want to work for Vince, and he don't have to work for Vince, but like as a wrestler though, like as just a fan, like I know he gets that question a lot when he's in the grocery store, when he T-ball practice with his kids, or just I know people just walk up to dudes like, so man, when you gonna wrestle the Undertaker? I know people ask dude these questions.
And you know what though? And I have an answer for you, Fresh. He said in the interview, I can't even put my, like, if you could just see my hand, like, like the little thing, like close thing, he said he was very, 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 it's like a needle on a thread, like hanging by that piece of thread close. Like, just pull a thread and the contract would have been signed. He said, I forgot it was something that didn't fall through that he didn't explain, though. It was just one little piece. Like
I read on the blog, like I read on the internet that what was it, when Undertaker came back last year, before they went to 27, and the Undertaker came back last year, and the whole Triple H thing, that Sting was very, very close to signing the contract because the whole 221 thing was supposed to be him.
Yep, that's what I was talking about. Yep.
And I think we read the same. Like they said, it was real close, but Vince like promised him something, and then like when he got the contract, what told him that he was gonna get wasn't in the contract, so he didn't sign it.
Right. Yep.
I think
exactly
Vince
right.
said something about he's supposed to get like a title run or something.
Yeah, I think it was a title. I think it was that title run.
Right, and then when he got the contract, Vince like reneged on the title run, so he just didn't sign it. And sent it back.
Yep. That's what it was. It was a title run. He was supposed to get it. He wanted a title shot. He wanted a title run, and he didn't get it. So, Vince, the cup.
They
could have gave him a title run with the World Heavyweight Championship.
No, Sting cannot be a World Heavyweight Champion. Sting got to be a WWE champion. You got to put the belt on the man. You got to. You can't give him the world title. That's like second banana. And Sting is the biggest damn star fucking ever, next to Hogan.
Just ask Sheamus about being second banana right now.
But you know what? Sheamus is cool being second banana. He makes second banana look real good.
He does.
True. Some people don't need to be first banana. Because CM Punk is first banana and nobody cares.
Right.
I'm definitely. I hope they do it before they get too old because they both in their 50s.
Right.
And they can still move fairly well. So I hope they get this done before.
Taker's not 50 yet. Taker's 47.
Okay, so yeah, because Sean's not in his 50s yet. Sean is still fairly up. Sean is like 46, but he looks 75.
It's that hair.
Like wrestling makes you look that old, fam.
Yeah, when you put your body through torture.
But also he was on drugs though.
Yeah, he was. He was on drugs before he got saved. And I believe back in his younger days when they were doing the DX thing, he was running real wild.
L.
Yes, sir. You got 3 minutes left. Let's go.
We could just end it right here.
All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to TNA Recipe going down every Thursday night. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at WCC Live. Also, if you got Facebook, make sure to add us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Wrestling Commentary Central. I'm EL.CIBERNETICO.
Wait, L.
Hey, L.
Wait.
I got one more.
Don't.
We forgot to mention one more thing about the end of the match.
Oh, go ahead.
When Double A came out there and attacked Tardy after the match.
Oh.
And invoked his rematch clause at what's the next pay-per-view again?
Turning Point.
Yeah,
November
Turning
11th. Oh, but what I was gonna say was, don't forget to mention about the WCC Brawl, the upcoming season 6 of Fantasy League, all that stuff.
All right. Let's break it down again. Season number 6 is just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, November 1st to November 30th. That's right. You, the WCC community, could join in the biggest fantasy league ever. I believe we're estimating to be about 60 teams so far. Then again, who knows? It might change. It's really easy to sign up. All you got to do is hit me up on Facebook at EL.CIBERNETICO. Also, going down over at WCC every Monday night, it's the Uncensored Show. Every Tuesday night, it's those boys from Overload. Every Wednesday, it's Rockin' Reese. And, of course, every Thursday night, you're in that kitchen with Bro and Big Red here on the TNA Recipe. For more information, stick to WCC on Twitter at WCC Live. If you got Facebook, make sure to check out WCC, Wrestling Commentary Central on Facebook. That's facebook.com/group/Wrestling Commentary Central. That's a long-ass fucking name. We got to cut that down. Anyway.
I like the way you say that.
Anyways, for your host, the one, the only Mr. Rowe, Big Red. Anything else you guys want to say before we go?
Shout out to WCC Season 5 WCC champion, whoever that is. I don't know who that is.
And if anybody from WWF is listening, which is the WWF, the Wrestling Real Federation, WCC rules. You can't fuck with us. Get it right. Big Cricket.
Exactly. Going down every Tuesday, TNT with the WWF Federation, but that's another story. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to TNA Recipe here on the WCC Network every Thursday night. We will see you next Thursday. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.